Today I will show you how to knit this Lacy summer throw. As always, you can find all the free information at craftytoots.com, including the pattern, gauge, and more. I use the yarn Swaddle by Cascade Yarns, which is 100% polyester, in the color 210 or Marshmallow. And I used a total of 7 balls of yarn. You also will need US number 11 needles or 8 millimeters. And let's start by casting on our stitches. I am using the long tail cast on method. If you are not familiar with this cast on method, please feel free to pause this video and go to my YouTube channel. There is a section where I have a tutorial that will show you how to use this method of cast on. Okay, so I have cast on a total of 125 stitches, and this is just to mark my stitches. Is a little trick that I learned. So if I lose my count, I don't have to count again, and I put it every 50 stitches. So there I have all my stitches in the needle. As you can see, I'm using a circular needle, but it's only because we have so many stitches. We are not going to be knitting in the round. So the first 4 rows, we only have to knit every single stitch across. And I have tutorials for this, but let me show you. You will have to insert your needle from left to right, grab your yarn and wrap it around, and then pull that yarn and let it go on the opposite needle, on your right needle. Again, from left to right, insert your needle. You grab your working yarn and you wrap it around your right needle. Then you pull that through and you let the stitch fall onto the right needle. That was the throw method. Now let me show you on the continental method. That is my favorite. It's the same way from left to right, but instead of wrapping the yarn around it, you can just like scoop it with your needle, and then everything else is the same. It's only the way that you grab your yarn and the way that you wrap it around. So keep working and knit every single stitch across, then come back for a total of 4 rows. So here I have my 4 rows all worked up, and this will be row number 5, and we have to knit the first 2 stitches. Now those will be your edge stitches, and now we're going to start a repeat. It's going to be yarn over, slip, slip, knit. So slip 1, slip again, and we knit those both together. That is the way to do a slip, slip, knit. And you will have to repeat this, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, until you reach the last stitch. So keep repeating it until you have just 1 stitch left in your row. Okay, so this is another way I like to do my slip, slip, knit. It's just to knit through the back loop, as I'm showing you right here. And it's the same thing as slipping both on the needle and then knitting. So this way is a little bit quicker, so if you prefer to do it that way, just go for it. And now let me show you the wrapping method. So yarn over, you wrap it around, then you go slip 1, slip 2, so slip, slip, insert your needle again and knit them both together. Again, as I say, the stitches are the same. The only thing that is changing between the throw method and the continental method are the way you move your yarn around. Also, this is just my preferred way to decreasing stitches, so if you are more familiar with the knit 2 together, feel free to substitute that in this pattern. If you do that, it will be yarn over, knit two together, yarn over, knit two together until the end. So here I'm almost at the end, so yarn over, then slip, slip, knit, and as I mentioned before, you will have one stitch remaining. Just go ahead and knit that stitch. Now we have to turn and we have to knit every single stitch across for row number 6. Then you have to repeat these 2 rows, 5 and 6, 2 more times. So that means row number 7 is going to be the knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit, and repeat the yarn over, slip, slip, knit all the way to the last stitch, knit 1. Row 8 will be knit every row, just like we're doing here. Then one more time, row number 9 will be the same as row number 5, and row number 10 will be the same as row number 6. So here I have worked on my repeat, which gives me 3 rows of lace, then the row of knit, row of lace, row of only knit. Now from row 11 to row 14, you will have to knit every single stitch. Technically you will have 4 because the last one was a knit, plus 3 more rows of knitting. Just like we did before, knit every single stitch all the way across. Come back, knitting all the stitches, and one more time knitting all the stitches. And then we will have to repeat over and over these 2 sections. Okay, so here I finish my rows of knitting, and now we will have to repeat this over and over, the lace and knitting section, the lace and knitting stripe. You will have to do this from row 15 to row 304. So now, since we finished the knit stripe, we'll have to do a lace row, and if you remember, it's knit 2, yarn over, slip, slip, knit. Repeat the yarn over, slip, slip, knit all the way across until the very last stitch, and then knit that last stitch. Again, all this information is available at craftytuts.com, and after that you will have to bind off. I made a very little sample here to show you how to bind off, just because it's going to be quicker and easier. To bind off, you will have to knit the first 2 stitches, then grab the first stitch and you will pass it over the second one. So just insert your needle and pass that stitch over the first one. So where you had 2 stitches, now you only have 1, and this will close your work. So repeat that all the way around. So again, knit the following stitch. This time you don't have to knit 2 because you already have 1 stitch on the needle. And just like you did before, you will grab that stitch and pass it over the second one. Okay, so just keep working and you will be closing 1 stitch at a time. As you can see, where you had open stitches now is completely closed. And I also wanted to mention that the repeat in this pattern is so easy that you can just adjust it to have the length that you want. So keep working across. Let me show you what to do once you're done. So keep binding off 1 stitch at a time. This is the very last one, so knit that stitch, and bring the first stitch over, and you will have an opening right there. There's no more stitches to be bind off. You close all the ones before that. So you will have to cut your yarn and then make this loop a little bit bigger, and then you will pull the tail of your yarn there, and then you can secure it right there, and that completely closes it. Then you just have to weave in that end, and also to remember to weave in the end at the very beginning. And there you go, your work is completely closed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave it a like, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do so, and remember that all the written information will be available at craftytoots.com.